And so without further ado, I would like to call up my panelists for this panel, starting with Osoretin Obano, Ifosa's brother from Africa Impact Initiative. And Ehi Agbonlaho from Anusio. Celidia Santos, Cici from Cici's Hair Care and Essentials. And she's our guest of honor. You'll find out why shortly. So a big round of applause for Cici. Anu Oladele, Black Wealth Seeds. And Tatenda Maka from Black North Initiative. Amazing. Does everybody have their mics? There you go. All right. Okay. So starting from Tita Tenda, who's right next to me, similar to what the other panels have had to do, can you give us your elevator pitch, speaking to your target audience in this room, and tell us what you're building and any significant traction that you've had so far, and especially as it pertains to programs that are related to nurturing Black talent?
Well, thank you for putting the pressure on me to go first. But good afternoon, everyone. It's so nice to see some beautiful faces in the room. My name is Tatenda Maka. I'm the Manager of Social Impact and Reporting at Black North Initiative. And today I want to talk to you about Black North Connect, which is a one-stop shop platform that provides access to jobs, internship, mentorship opportunities. We have. Thank you. It provides access to jobs, internships, mentorship opportunities, and a directory of scholarships and bursaries that are available to post-secondary students right across the country, as well as a database for resources and master classes for professional development. And this is all catered for the Black community. Currently, there are just over 750 Black professionals on the platform with profiles. There are at any given time, 1,500 job opportunities available. We have 41 companies right across the country from diverse sectors who are utilizing the platform. This platform was only launched last summer, and so it has grown exponentially. We'll be launching mentorship in April and the Directory of Scholarships and Bursaries in May. So please engage with the platform, whether you are a Black professional looking for a job opportunity, or whether you're looking for professional development, if you're a Black student looking for funding opportunities right across the country, or even if you are an organization who's hiring. All of the organizations that are on our platform are actively hiring, so please join the platform at blacknorthconnect.ca. If you need more information or if you need a walkthrough, email programs@blacknorth.ca. Thank you.
Thank you. And going to the baby of the house, Cici, who's our little sister. Cici, tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got connected with BFN specifically, because I do hear there's an amazing story of how you and Ifosa ran into each other at our career conference a few weeks ago.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Celidia Santos, and I am a very young entrepreneur. I am only 15 years old. Thank you. My elevator pitch today will be a little bit different because I will be, I guess, giving a pitch on myself and my vision for the future. I currently have a small business called Cici's Hair Care and Essentials. I started my first business at the age of 12, and it has definitely grown over time. I've also became a public speaker and Black activist, and I speak at multiple events, and it's just truly a blessing to have the opportunity to speak at this one today. I met Ifosa at the Black Career Conference, where I was there just to network, and I ended up getting interviewed, which was amazing. And here I am today having the opportunity to share my business and my visions for the future with you all. Thank you.
Not sure how I'm supposed to go after that, but okay, so I'm not 15. but I'm a member of African Impact Initiative. And what we do is that we focus on the development of the African continent back home and also the members of the African diaspora community here in Canada. So basically, we do this tailored in different ways for both different segments. So back home, we focus on impact entrepreneurship and community engagements. What that looks like is we invest in young entrepreneurs who have bright ideas but need support to turn those ideas to minimum viable products and then scale into the marketplace. So we go into different countries looking for those bright minds. They apply to our incubation program and they receive support and training throughout that program. And through our partnership with U of T and MasterCard, we actually have $6 million in grants and gift funding that we then provide to the entrepreneurs who make it past the incubation program to actually fund their businesses and turn those businesses into actual solutions. Thank you very much. We've currently done this across multiple countries back home. So it's not tailored to just one country. So we're Pan-African, if that clears it up. We partner with U of T and MasterCard on this specific program. And we've actually invested in over 100 startups currently, and over 1,000 have gone through our incubation program. So we're currently still expanding, and this goes on year to year. And that's what we've done in Africa. Now, changing the story to what we do here for the community in Canada, right? How many of you are African immigrants? Virtually the entire room. Perfect. I'm an African immigrant too. So we realize that there are gaps in terms of the experiences that we face when we move into the Canadian society. Integration is difficult. Access to various resources, educational resources, when it comes to career stuff, when it comes to finances, etc. So what we're doing is that we're creating a program that I'll talk more about later on that helps African immigrants overcome those challenges. So when it comes to getting access to loans, financial aid, housing, various things, employment, because Canadian work experience is a big thing. So I'll touch on that later, but in a nutshell, that's basically what we do on both ends. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ahi, and I'm the founder of Annushio. Annushio is an AI-powered career guidance platform. To put it simply, the goal is really to help us as individuals understand our skills, understand our strengths, and be able to transition to any career path at any point in our career journeys. And I always say it started off by mistake. It wasn't supposed to be a startup. It was a problem that I faced personally, despite having 2 master's degrees, which was really unfortunate. And then it ended up in health challenges for me. And besides Annushio, I'm also the founder of a nonprofit called Be Future Ready, which is tailored to address, Annushio is a for-profit organization, so Be Future Ready is tailored to support initiatives that are not directly under Annushio, and I'll be looking forward to share more of what that entails. So far, we have over 8,000 people on our wait list waiting to access the platform, and last year we were in closed beta with 500 people, and we're looking to open it up to you all by end of March. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anu Oladile. I'm the co-founder of Blackwell Seeds Initiative. Blackwell Seeds was born out of a volunteer opportunity for me about a year ago, where as a current founder of another tech company, I was asked to sort of share my experience with some youth out East Toronto. It was through that and putting material together that ultimately led to what is Blackwell Seeds today. Through the 10 weeks of that volunteer opportunity, was able to create fundamental principles and put together key ways to empower youth and to share with them, Black youth specifically, key principles around ownership, financial management, literacy, and ultimately learning how to manage a business. At this point, we went through the pilot program, and I'm looking forward to launching later this year through a summer program. The program is going to be anchored around this book, so that's the traction that we have right now. We want to empower all Black youth to be able to bet on themselves, understand what it is to learn how to own, and ultimately help us towards our vision of creating generations of Black entrepreneurs, innovators, and that's it. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much, Anu. I'll have you hold on to the mic because the next question is for you. So with working with Blackwell Seeds, how can we identify promising potential like Sisi early, which is what the mandate of your organization is about, right? We've heard from Sisi. She's a 15-year-old founder, and we'll hear from her shortly around the different challenges and nuances she's had to navigate, but your organization is making the space to make that financial literacy and entrepreneurship literacy easier. But what are the ways that parents and young folks in the room can navigate that space?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think organically in any learning environment, there's always an opportunity to identify within the audience or participants in that environment who is picking up what's being shared, right? So I'll use the example of the pilot program. I mean, we went into a school out east in East Toronto, and we're able to speak to 15 kids over between the ages of, I'd say, 12 and 18. But this material is designed for the ages of 10 to 19. But in sort of talking and taking these kids through the material, we were able to help them understand how they could tap into creativity or even understand and identify how to hone their creativity, but then turn that into products or services that they would get people to pay for. But beyond that, how do they start to manage the operations of a business? What are the key pieces that are important? And then take them through a series of activities. Ultimately, I think my experience in that program, we could start to see where some of the youth were lacking, where they needed a little bit more help, but then you could also identify the ones that were picking things up right away and even challenging us as entrepreneurs and founders. I keep referring to us because my co-founder is sitting right here, so I want to make sure she gets the props. But yeah, I think it's organic. I mean, it's a learning environment, and what we're hoping to do is that by offering this program, whether as through multiple channels, so it's designed again to fit into summer programs that we could offer ourselves or take to schools and other private institutions. It wouldn't be limited to us because we can't reach the 500,000 kids in Canada by ourselves. But it's through that, and then partnering with all of the organizations that I see on the board here and the ones seated here to say, hey, look, these are special talents that understand what it is to be an entrepreneur. They've showed signs early, and make sure that they're connected through this network.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Anu. So Anu, I am going to do you a favor and help you out with some market research right now because we have your ideal customer profile right here. So let's hear from her. Sisi, when you hear what Anu is doing, what kind of resources and support do you think should be included in programmings like this that are really targeted towards very young and early stage entrepreneurs like yourself? And if you could also share with us like what inspired you as a very young girl where you could be playing in the streets. I don't know if kids play in the streets these days or play on the streets of Instagram. You could be doing either one of those things, but you decided to spend your days networking, coming to events like this, building a business. So share with us what inspired you to do that and how parents in the room can kind of copy and paste with their kids as well.
Thank you, Justina. So I would like to start by giving my mother... Can you please stand up, Mom?
Absolutely.
Can you please stand up, Mom? Thank you. A round of applause. Because to be honest, it wouldn't be possible without her. Since as long as I can remember, my mom has always told me, find a hobby, find something that you're passionate about. And so that's what I've done. During COVID, during the pandemic, I found something that I was passionate about and I started making jewelry, and that's where my very first business started. It was successful, and for about 2 years, I was just making jewelry and selling it to family and friends, and that's when my business developed. I then became a hairstylist. I specialize in natural hairstyles, so I do locks, I do braids, cornrows, and things like that. And it has gone very far because I'm from Ottawa, but when I come here to Toronto, I have my client base. When I go to Montreal, I have my client base. And then, of course, I have my base in Toronto. So honestly, I've always been geared towards the vision that I've had. And it really was inspired by my mother. My grandparents are immigrants from Cuba. And so when they came to Canada, they established their very first business. And my grandfather painted in the National Art Gallery of Canada, which to me is a success. Yeah. And that's where my inspiration had come from. And so my family has always been there to guide me and challenge me as well in many ways. So I think that it's amazing that ANU has a business that can empower Black youth to create their businesses, find their hobbies and their interests, and really inspire them to continue. Challenges that I face is school, balancing school and my business, because it's really not easy. I'm an A+ student, so I actually just got a 98 as my final in business. Yeah, I had a 98 in my final in business. I have a 90 in English. So like things like that, maintaining the time to take the time to do your schoolwork and then also focusing on your businesses and planning everything out is definitely challenging. I struggle with procrastination, and so for parents and youth out there that are looking to start your businesses, one thing that I would definitely say is very important is to write in an agenda. It's not going to be easy at first, but maybe if you have someone who encourages you to submit things on time and follow with your plans, that would be great.
Thank you so much, Cece. A very quick follow-up question for you. Did you do your braids yourself?
No, I didn't do my braids myself. I actually partnered with another Black business owner because I wanted to support her, and she did an amazing job. Like, it's fantastic. I mostly work with natural hair, so I do locks, lock repairs, cornrows, and things like that.
Amazing. They look beautiful, and #BuyBlack. We're hearing it from Cece. Amazing. But one thing that I heard from folks speaking on this side of the stage from you, Cece, was again giving flowers to your mom, right? And all of us mentioning the advisory, the sponsorship, and the mentorship. And I heard from you, Ehi, earlier that you moved from Nigeria. You had 2 masters, but still found it challenging to navigate the workforce system in Canada. And I've done some research here and know some data, which unfortunately some of us leave this data, that Black Canadians, despite having equal educational attainment as other communities, we still are paid about 76 cents on the dollar. And as recent as 2021, 70% of Black Canadians still face unemployment. And so all of this, hearing your story, Ehi, that you had 2 masters, and these are stories that we hear across the room, it's not due to a lack of talent that our community is unemployed and underemployed. There's external factors such as institutional barriers, such as discriminatory practices, and these call for, one, allyship with other communities and other institutions who are creating these barriers, so we break them down, but also holding institutions, holding government policies accountable for ensuring that the space is ready for Black talent to nurture. So with this said, this is a question for you, Tatenda. I know BNI and through the Black Connect program, you've been doing a lot of work around allyship. I want to ask you, how can we effectively engage government, corporations, and the broader community to support the development of our Black talent ecosystem?
Thank you, Justina. So was thinking about this question when I saw it as part of the list. And I think, one, there needs to be a very comprehensive strategy, because there are a lot of issues and challenges and needs that the Black community faces, especially around getting hired, around professional development, business creation. And I think of three things. One, you mentioned accountability. I think of active advocacy. I think of collaboration. And I love the theme of today, the power of community. And so in terms of collaboration, we need to foster collaborative spaces where we're bringing in corporations to meet with community organizations and understand some of the issues and needs of the Black community and address those needs and challenges, maybe not in that same day because we know that it's going to take some time, but to at least create that space where corporate Canada comes together with the Black community. And I know at BNI that's something that we actively try to do with our corporate partners, our signatories, is to bring them into the room to understand what's happening with the Black community, where there's challenges around home ownership, around employment, around Black entrepreneurs trying to scale up their businesses. And another piece is being able to facilitate conversations and connections with government agencies and key Black talents, like Salida, you're bringing her into the room and having her have conversations with key decision makers within the government, because if we don't change policy, if we don't talk about regulations, then nothing will happen. We'll always be stuck with systemic issues and systemic barriers until we start to dismantle that. Yes, it will take a couple of decades. I may not see it in my lifetime, unfortunately, but as long as we start having the conversations, as long as we start opening the doors now, and for some of us who are in privileged organizations such as BNI, such as BFN, to be able to create those spaces where we do connect government and community and corporate into one space, we need to take that action, we need to take that step. And in terms of accountability, keeping companies accountable with their diverse metrics, accountable with their reporting, accountable with their data tracking. I think that's something that we need to do. And at Black North, we have what we call our annual pulse check survey that we have our signatories and corporate Canada complete. And it comes with a lot of questions around diversity, around how are you retaining Black talent? What's your rate of promoting your Black employees? What are your support systems within those companies? Because, she has 2 master's degrees. She deserves, that job opportunity. And as Dahaba was talking about earlier, we've heard all of the, the typical sentences, oh, you're fantastic, but you might not fit our customer base. And so our annual pulse check survey does try keep corporate companies accountable, and that's something as well as the Black community that we need to do is be able to. Okay, I'm getting the time there. Okay, so let me cut it short. Basically, the 3 points for me would be collaboration, accountability, and active advocacy.
Thank you, Tatenda. Okay, so you shared a lot of nuggets, and I wish we had more time to hear from you because that's very insightful. But one thing that stands out the most for me is you mentioned conversation, right? We bring these corporations to the table and have conversations with the people that we're serving so that we understand their unique challenges, right? IFOSA always says it's program management 101 or market research 101, that before you build anything, talk to the people you're building it for, right? I think in that, and especially as we're talking to the Black community, one of the things that stands out further is intersectionality. The experiences of the Black community as shared as they are, there's different identities even within the Black community that calls for different approaches. And so a question for you, Osas, because I know Africa Impact Initiative is doing a lot of work with the African diaspora, specifically here in Canada. So a question for you is that we African immigrants face nuanced challenges compared to some Black folks that might be born and raised in Canada. So what are some examples that you've seen from building a diaspora community through AII? And how are you guys thinking of solving for that particular intersectionality through your work? I know we are short on time, so if we can keep it to a minute or so.
Sure, I'll do my best. So as an African immigrant, I came here for school. I had a lot of friends that are African immigrants, and most of you relate to this. Finances was a very big thing. We pay exorbitant fees in Canada for our tuition, so getting access to that money is a very big problem. Financial trade, sending money back home, or getting money from home for like basic amenities, food, or even like providing support to relatives back home is also a very big problem. Getting that money in time, finding housing, finding jobs. Canadian work experience is a big thing for Canadian employers, and most people are coming from back home without Canadian work experience. So how are they expected to get those jobs? If they don't come as students, they come post-grad as already employed individuals. How are they supposed to get that experience over here? And just even regular things like just integration, finding a community like this. Not everyone is exposed on LinkedIn to be able to get access to the power of community and see that it's going on, or even finding access to like African stores where they can buy their food that they're familiar with, and so on and so forth, right? So all of that really creates barriers for individuals to get immersed in the community very early on. And what we're actually doing at African Impact is that we're creating a program. It is launching in April, and it will be announced formally at our conference on March 22nd, called the African Bridge Program. So BRIDGE stands for Building Resilient Immigrants Through Diversity, Growth, and Empowerment. And what that looks like is the various ways we support African immigrants right now in Canada, but putting that all together under a digital platform. So if you go to the African Bridge platform when it launches, you'll be able to get support regarding getting student loans. So for example, we partner with Oasis Lending Group that provides student loans very similar to what PR, permanent residents get, and citizens for international students, which is a big thing because I don't think that exists currently in Canada. Access to housing, placements, easier for immigrants. Canadian work experience is a big thing too. So we also have a placement and fellowship program where we actually provide funding and pay individuals to go work with partner companies so they can get work experience at no cost to the employer while we cover that ourselves as well. We also have career networking events and a bunch of other things that hit on every single point. I can't go deep enough in it, but it will be the one-stop shop for everything. And we're not doing this ourselves. We're not reinventing the wheel. We're working with people like Anusio, Oasis Lending Group, ZoApp that already have these programs done, and we're just creating that one platform where everyone can access their services that are relevant to African immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you. That deserves a very huge round of applause. Some of the conversations I had earlier during the networking session as people came to the Okwera Academy booth was exactly what you're sharing also. Is I moved from Nigeria 3 months ago. I have a PhD, I have a master's, I have 10 years of experience, but I'm here, I can't find a job. I have to go back to George Brown or Conestoga, whatever other college, to do a postgraduate degree about something that I've already done back home because that's the only pathway to kind of break into the workforce. It's unfortunate. And it's the chicken and the egg, right? It's like you need Canadian experience. It's like, yeah, I don't have Canadian experience because no one has given me an opportunity to get Canadian experience. And so career exploration, unfortunately, for marginalized folks like us can be quite challenging. But I know Anusio is doing some great work and most importantly, leveraging technology, leveraging artificial intelligence to help with the process of navigating your career and skills mapping, right? Because I think one of the challenges, and I'll let you speak more to this because you're the expert, but one of the challenges, I've used the platform myself, is just knowing what job title aligns with your skills. Like you're coming from Zambia, you did program management or something that is called something different here, but you have the skills that are transferable to say program management, project management, unless you have someone guiding you through that process or have Anusio guiding you through that process, it's challenging to navigate. So share with us more about what that looks like for Anusio, how you're scaling it, how you're supporting the Black community, and also how people can leverage the tool that you're offering.
I'll start off by saying that Canadian experience is BS. Big time. So when I got here, I got my first job within like 7 weeks. But the challenge that I find is we struggle to identify how the skills that we already have are relevant to the marketplace here. And so the current process is like you're literally randomly trying to reach out to people to say, tell me what I should be doing. And in the last 12 months, I've directly worked with over 200 people. And these are like senior people coming from across Africa. And I'm looking at their resumes, I'm like, this doesn't cut it. And then by the time I talk to them, I'm like, you have way more relevant things that you should show in your resume that are not there. And bring it back to people who are in school, whether here or back in Africa or wherever you study. There isn't any systemized data source to support you as a student as you're finishing your degree to say, okay, these are the skills that you've amassed from the different courses that you're doing, from what you know and what you enjoy doing as a person, your personal life, your skills, your interests, your passion. There are skills that you're building there, but there's no way to integrate all of that to show you what you're already really good at and how to transition it. Think about in employers as well. The future of work is going to keep changing. How do you then see the skills you already have as your current job is becoming redundant so that you can transition into the next role without having going to take on like additional loans and more student debts that might not be relevant to you, right? So as an individual, I realized I can do it. I can support everyone that reaches out to me on LinkedIn, and at least I get 50 plus messages in a week. And so we've tried to systemize this on the platform. So we work with school partners to say, let's provide your career services with the data tools to support students. So you as an individual, you can clearly see at a glance, at your fingertips, these are all the skills I have, these are all the job roles that I can transition into. And the second part of it is, I realize a lot of people that are trying to get into these workspaces lack the portfolio of experience that are relevant. So starting in second quarter of this year, we're going to run like hackathons, portfolio building hackathons, beyond just regular workshops, because those don't do it. You finish the workshop, you still need those skills. So we've built all of this into the platform, and something we call a brag book. How do you capture your achievements on a day-to-day basis and let the AI do the work of mapping it out for you? To put it simply, large corporates have access to data about you and I so that they can understand us better and sell their products and services to us. Well, we are flipping that script. Let's provide the same AI tools to you and I so that we can understand our own skills and the value we bring and position ourselves better to these employers. So that's what we're building at Anusio.
Thank you, Ehi, and thank you to everyone for sharing the work you're doing and for also taking on the mantle to do this work, because as I can imagine, it's not easy work. You're breaking generational, I don't want to say generational curses, but you're breaking generational institutional barriers, right? So it possibly can be easy work, so thank you for taking on the work. I will take on like one question. I know the ambassadors are, killing us with time. Just one question right there.
Alrighty, so I'll make it very quick. My name is Nikisha Moody, commonly referred to as Nikki, and this topic is very passionate for me as I have an online platform called Building a Dream that really supports the entrepreneur ecosystem, getting more people in underrepresented communities to understand there is resources and tools made available for us to excel. So the question I have for you, really for me, and any leader in here who's willing to listen, what are the responsibilities of leadership that we can do more to help you as Black talent thrive?
Anu?
Yeah, I mean, I think from a Blackwell Seeds perspective, truthfully, partnerships is going to be key for us. A lot of the work that we're hearing about here speaks to our current state, right? And it's not to minimize, there's a ton of great work being done by all of these organizations, but in our view, what we see is for this to live through time or transcend time, we need to invest in the youth, and that's where we're coming from. So I would love the opportunity to partner with many of these organizations to say, look, we want to build a pipeline. We are teaching fundamentals. We're starting to tell our youth about ownership, which is not something that they may always be used to or hear about. But beyond equipping them with these fundamentals, what's the next step for them? And I think the work that all of these organizations are doing are key for us to now connect the youth that we're teaching those fundamentals. So partnership would be what we seek. Thank you.
Just to bounce off of partnerships, I think another aspect of it is all of these really great organizations and all the work that we're doing is to create wraparound services for our youth. So being able to not only provide them with sponsorships for their education, but also mentorship, internships, and practical experiences that stem right from that high school age all right through to university and to entering into the workspace, because that's what ensures that we're nurturing Black talent and Black youth and that we're developing them right through the process rather than starting when somebody is 30. It's not too late in the game, but it always has to start with Celidia's age at 15 and being able to provide those services. And I know, just a shameless plug, our Scholarships and Bursary program at Black North has that model where we do provide not only the funding opportunity, but also mentorship and internship opportunities, because we want our youth to be able to get that support right through their process into earning some sort of an income.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. A round of applause for this panel, please. Thank you so much.